welcome to the channel. This is my review of the Canyon Torque CF9 in Skyline Purple, and it's a tale of two halves, a bike of kind of two personalities. I'm finding. So I've been riding it for a week, and this bike's definitely got the beauty. I mean, looks rad in Skyline Purple, but there's an elegance. It's got enough travel to soak up the big hits. It's got all the RockShox new kit, so it's pretty quiet or almost silent suspension. About 16 kilos, so pretty light, so it just glides along, so there's kind of an elegance, and also it kind of just looks like a normal bike, so it's kind of hiding what's underneath and what it's capable of. And then the other side is the kind of wild, snarling animal that wants to, you know, if it's at a dance floor, it's the first one to rave.
Yes, boys!
And there's a beast lurking within this bike that says, well, you know what, I'm 90%, 95% as good as a downhill bike, as long as you are as a rider. So yeah, tale of two halves, and let's get stuck into it more in depth, go through the spec, break it down, how it rides. Keep watching, let's go. Okay riders, spec breakdown, hope you're ready for it. So you get the top RockShox, Zeb fork at the front, 170mm, you've got the Buttercups, charger free damper, and then you get the RockShox Coil Ultimate Deluxe, you get the hydraulic bottom out, and that is 175mm. This is the Mullet Torque CF9, so they balance the travel that way, I guess. And then you also get the SRAM EXO cranks, which are rather good looking, if I don't mind saying so. They're probably the best looking cranks I think I've ever had, but they feel very stiff in spite of having big holes in them, so obviously light and stiff. They're awesome. You get the EXO wireless, the new rear mech, the T-type. It's basically EXO, I think, everything apart from you've got the new pod shifter, which isn't really EXO, it's just the pod shifter. That thing's awesome. And then you've got the XS cassette rather than the EXO. I have to say though, that cassette looks amazing. It looks very bling, very shiny. And it's a full carbon frame. You do get a Canyon cockpit, so this is probably the cons of the bike. It's you get the plastic spacers, boo, but 40mm stem, 800mm bars, I think 30 degree rise, so pretty all standard. Yeah, and then one thing that's really worth noting on this bike, you've got the new HS2 rotors, which seem a bit kind of thicker than your standard rotor, so hopefully they're not going to buckle or warp quite as easily when you land a bit sideways or when you hit rocks and stuff like that. So they look really strong, and the braking power, so it's just the code RSC brakes, which aren't, you know, have been around for years, but with those rotors and again I guess the weight of the bike, the stopping power, that's a 220 up front, so it's pretty much the same as a downhill bike, and 200 on the rear. And oh yeah, the Ergon saddle, this thing is awesome, by the way. I've never had such a nice comfy saddle, and I think it's actually leather, but it's a premium saddle. That is wicked. I really like that, so good. And then you get the Canyon dropper post, which is, it's alright. Yeah, it's alright, basically. Lowish stack height, which I like on any dropper post, so yeah. But I think, and that is the breakdown of the bike. Yo! terms of geo numbers for this bike, it's pretty progressive and slack, so you get a 63.5 head angle, pretty similar to the Sender, their downhill bike, which is 63. You can adjust it with the flip chip, so you can probably make it more like 64, I think, in the high position. It comes shipped in the low position. And then you've got the 435 chainstays on the large, which makes it fairly short, I guess, for an enduro rig. Some others are probably more like 440, makes it a bit poppy. It's definitely got a friendly seat angle, although I would say where it does climb, this bike comes alive downhill, so it can climb, and it's comfy enough actually, but I wouldn't, as climbing goes, it's good enough considering, but yeah, definitely comes alive downhill. And on the large, I think it's a 485 reach, correct me if I'm wrong, something in that ballpark. So it's a good long reach, slight head angle, short chainstay. All of this creates very sort of playful geo, very poppy, but also stable at speed. So it's I think it's not far off their downhill bike. So you're looking at that sort of territory in geo, and it reflects when you get going down a hill. It's definitely really eats up the downhill, which is amazing. And that's the capability. It's it's got so much it can do, as much as the rider can put it through, obviously. Well, in summary, riders, could this be the one bike? Well, I need to ride it more, but it's definitely a great choice as an all-rounder. The 170mm, you're not going to go far wrong, and yeah, I just need to ride it more, but I'm already absolutely loving this bike. So yeah, keep watching. I'll let you know how I get on. If you've got any comments, let me know what you think on the bike. If you ride the 170 and you would swear by it, or again, you think it's a bit you need more or a bit less for bike parks or for the off-piste. Again, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, just gonna ride this bike. Ride your bike too. Yo.